Oh my God, Xonae said something. All right, so there's a little bit to unpack here from a recent, I guess you could call, update about Arsenal. So Xonae, who is, I guess, the lead developer of the game, has said something very interesting, and it gives me a lot of positive attitude towards the future of this game, at least for the close future, I hope. Earlier on this week, aka yesterday, Xonae made a tweet asking for like what the community would like to be inputted into the game relatively soon. Underneath that tweet, he posted in the Arsenal Discord more things they have already kind of looked into and are planning to implement into the game. And this is quite important to know, because now we're finally getting some ideas and what the devs are actually working on behind the scenes, because we don't really get much of that with the developers. Now we kind of see what they're thinking, where they're going, and what the next steps are for this game. So the first sort of thing here I want to talk about is the first thing on this list, and we're going to go down this list as we go. The first thing is a new tier of rare items. Now these new tier are going to be tradable items, is what Xonae is saying. Now if you know anything about Arsenal and how Xonae feels about trading items, this is kind of huge for people who love to trade items in games. Xonae has said trading will never be a part of Arsenal ever. Okay, so during the editing of this, I decided to look up this in order to get the exact like messages and stuff that Xonae has said about trading. And the last time he said that trading will never be a thing in Arsenal was back in September of 2021 and July of 2021. So it's been about 2 years since he has said this, which was a shock to me, because I thought this was like a couple months ago, or like 6 to 8 months ago, where he said something like this lately. But no, it's been 2 years. In May, the last thing he's about trading here was what he's actually saying now in this tweet, where I'd only ever want a marketplace or trading for some new tier / type of cosmetic items where quantities were tracked and stuff like that. Something separate that can be controlled easier. So he has sort of changed his mind, and he has always kind of been against the fact of having items that you can trade in a game. But now it seems like he has kind of developed something to where there may be tradable items in the game, but there only be like I guess like a certain tier that these things have to have in order to be traded. So I'm assuming it's not going to be ultra rare stuff, because I feel like that would go very much against what he said in the past. Xonae also clarifies that trading will not have any of the existing items. So all of the items in the game right now will not be able to be traded. These will all be new items that will have these quantities attached to them, so they can be tracked easier and so on. So any item in the game right now will not be able to be traded in the future at all. No exceptions, according to what Xonae is saying. But either way, I'm all for trading. I feel like it's a good little thing to have. I don't think it hurts the game in any way. Actually, I take that back. There's obviously a lot of people who are going to exploit trading and so on and so forth. So I'll be curious to see how they prevent that. But when there's not those people in the game and it's just a normal trading thing, and like just the idea of trading, I don't think it hurts the game in any way, when it's being used in the correct way. Because it's just like, might as well have that if someone wants something and you don't really care about this item as much, or you have a duplicate of duplicates of would you be able to trade a duplicate to someone for like nothing? I'm curious how Xonae will work with that, because if you have like 3 of one item, could you just theoretically give one of that item to one of your friends? Anyways, that's all I really got to say about that one. The next little point here is ranked / elo competitive revamp. Now, competitive and the elo thing has been a thing in Arsenal. Officially, the official elo and stuff like that has been in Arsenal for quite a while now, which is the 1v1 elo competitive little mode. If you don't know what that is, it's a little extra game mode that's in here, and not a lot of people use it because it's not really built the right way. In my opinion, it's not really a true competitive style, but I'd be interested to see how they do this. I know they were planning to do like a 5v5 or 6v6 elo comp sort of server thing that you can do. I'm hoping they input like ranks, because right now all they have is just like an elo number and that's it. I'd be curious to see if they would input ranks in there, because I would play this a little bit. I probably wouldn't play it too much because I'll just get too frustrated. I would be down to play like a 5v5 6v6 comp in Arsenal. It does seem quite fun, like an official one. I don't want to join like a server like a comp server in order to play it, because that's just not really my thing. I would really be excited to see this ranked and elo competitive revamp, and see if they input 6v6 and all this other stuff. Some form of PvE mode. This was something that Xonae had said a while back, a while back being like 5-6 months ago, where they were looking like maybe into seeing if they could do like a PvE where you could, he made a video, I think. Yeah, he made a video on YouTube where he said they want to introduce more into the game, instead of just like, they want to be like a thing that has like multiple game modes in it. And one of the things he said, he wants to do like some PvE sort of things. And he mentioned like a zombies game mode, which would be really cool to add into the game. And a lot of people liked that. And I was also someone who commented on this fact, and I was really excited to see if they would do something like this. But then as time went on, people kind of questioned it, like, hey, is this actually gonna be a thing? And I think it was Crystal and maybe Xonae as well that were like, what are you talking about? No, zombies isn't going to be a thing. I also don't want to throw anyone under the bus, because maybe Crystal didn't say that. I don't know. I just know that there was a dev at the time when I was just in the chat watching it, that said like zombies isn't a thing. And we're like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. But I know they were working on maybe doing something like zombies or something like that. But now we see that a little confirmation from Xonae saying that zombies is something that's at the top of the list. I would hope it's me something that's like Call of Duty, where it's like a wave-based sort of thing. That would be really fun to see. The next thing here is the return of arcade mode. Now, I don't know what arcade mode is. I wasn't a player during arcade mode, or maybe I was. I started playing in the middle of 2020, but I don't recall ever playing on an arcade mode before, so I don't even know what that is. But it sounds cool, and it sounds like something a lot of people would enjoy. But there's also probably a reason why it's been gone for so long, and I'm curious as to why that would be. But it sounds interesting to me right now. I don't know what it is, but it does sound interesting. More than likely, it'll be something I play a few times and then probably won't go back to, because I'm a comp stan and I'm not the main player base. So there's that. Now, the next thing here gets me really excited, because I've been trying to do this for so long. I don't want to have to use another software in order to accomplish this. And now if they implement this, we no longer would have to use another software. And he talks about a more in-depth crosshair customization, also allowing for custom images. This would result in a lot of funny videos being released. This would also be a thing where you no longer have to use a third-party software in order to have like a good crosshair, because the crosshairs right now, it's just a simple cross and then you get to choose one color. And for the most part, it works. I mean, obviously, people have their likings towards their crosshairs, but I like having a crosshair that has multiple colors to it, because then I don't have to worry about it blending in with a certain color in the environment when I'm playing. Like, I used to use a black crosshair for a while, but if you're on like a dark map, you wouldn't be able to see your crosshair at all. I would use like a light green one, but then it would blend in with like the hillside map a little bit. So it is nice to have something with a more in-depth crosshair customization. I would assume this means you can make like whatever you want. That would be cool. And then also the custom images, that's just gonna be funny. I can't wait to see what people use. And then he goes on, the last little thing here is more in-depth mobile layout customization, including the ability to add and remove buttons, and then allowing for new buttons like inspect, crouch, etc. So that'll be really huge for the mobile community, because right now the mobile community kind of is screwed. They can't even crouch right now. They can't do a lot of things. Well, they can do most things, but they're very limited. And so that would be huge for the mobile community, which would be a huge dub. And then he says there's a lot of smaller things I'd like to do alongside a lot of other big things. That is just a starting point. Some of these things will be done prior to Reloaded's complete. Also, with all this other stuff, I do think it's probably going to be a while before this stuff actually gets implemented, because I mean, I think the devs are working on multiple things at one time. I'd love to see them implemented, hopefully like later this month, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for it. I know it's a bad thing to say, but I think it's reasonable to not have a whole lot of hope for something being implemented soon. Let me guys know what you guys think about these changes, or if there's any changes you'd like to see, like some of your ideas that you posted, like maybe underneath that Twitter thread, or just some ideas you guys would love to see into the game. That'd be really cool to see. And I'd love to kind of know like what your thoughts are on some new things that maybe I haven't thought about before either. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching this video. and I will see you guys in the next one.